Doing well. We're past 4th of July, everybody. We're past 4th of July. We got some orders. We gotta work on them. Or else we're gonna get some angry customers. So let's just get started. I have like 4 or 5 orders I gotta do. So while I'm doing the orders, we'll chit chat on what is going on in the world. What do we want to talk about? I guess we'll talk briefly about the 4th of July and oh my god, this thing looks funky. I feel like this needs to get recut. That's at least a few of these letters need to get recut. I'll find some scraps to do that. I don't want to dedicate a full on. Alright, anyways. What do we want to talk about? Well, 4th of July. You know what I noticed this year? This is where you can tell people are hurting because, in a way, 4th of July, we're just burning, you're burning money, right? Like hundreds of dollars at least. And this year I felt like, maybe it's just the area that I'm in, but it felt lighter. It was the lightest that I've remembered in a long time. Usually, I think most areas are like this. You could say this. 4th of July always felt like it's a war zone outside. Like explosions everywhere, fireworks in the sky, like all night usually. And the days leading up, the days after, 4th of July doesn't end on 4th of July for some people. It goes on for days, right? But you know what? This year, it feels like people didn't have money to buy fireworks because people were, at least in the area that I'm in, people were shooting fireworks like right on time. Usually, when you have a lot of fireworks, is that people start shooting fireworks when the sun is still out, because they have so much they have to burn through that you're not gonna get through it all throughout the night, and so they start shooting fireworks when the sun's still out, and then they go all night. This year, everyone started shooting fireworks when the sun was already down. So I'm all like, okay. So immediately it felt lighter than years before because there weren't as many fireworks in the sky, right? So I'm like, oh, this is a big sign that nobody's got money. Nobody's got money to burn. And then right around 12, like literally around 12 or so, people stopped right away. Like people just stopped. And I was like, whoa. In the past, people would be shooting fireworks until like 4 a.m., And then the next day, people will be shooting fireworks sporadically throughout the day. This year, quiet. It was quiet. Um, Literally right after. Oh, right after 4th of July finished, done. And then the next day, on the 5th, I think maybe like 1 or 2 families were shooting fireworks. It was so light this year. And I don't know. I saw that it said like fireworks sales were down this year. That's what they said, like fireworks sales. And like I was talking to someone like about this, and I was like, yeah, but that's legal fireworks. The ones that people get from the stands. I'm in California, by the way. You're not allowed to get the ones that shoot into the sky. If it shoots into the sky, you're not allowed to have it. At least in California, right? But everyone still uses the ones that shoot in the sky. We've always done that kind, right? And then so someone was saying like, yeah, fireworks sales are down this year, and I was like, yeah, for the ones from the stands, who's calculating the ones that people get from like someone's garage or the trunk of someone's car? Like they're not selling those and then like reporting them to the fireworks sales committee, whatever. So I'm like, oh, You know, like that's just the ones from the stands. Those are down. I'm pretty sure the you know what's crazy? The ones you get from the stands now, because when I was growing up, getting the ones that shoot into the air were more, or rockets or motors or whatever, were more expensive. Because you know you got to pay the the handling fee, right? You know what I mean? Than getting the fireworks in the stands. This year, I believe getting the ones from the stands were way pricier than getting your fireworks from someone's trunk. You know, so that I feel like that's, I don't know. It just felt like nobody had money. Nobody had money to be burning it at this, or at least people were afraid of what's gonna happen to be burning money like that. What else we want to talk about? The flood in Texas. I mean, literally as we're like the whole day, we were, you know, getting ready to celebrate like 4th of July, and then the news um comes out that the flooding happened. You know, like my wife tells me, "Oh, there's a flooding going on in Texas," and I guess some people are missing, or they're you know they're not gonna make it. I'm like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And then the next day, or at least I think at nighttime, I had a chance to actually look at the news, and I go, "Whoa, this is a big deal. This is crazy." And then I'm like, "This is crazy." And I think the main thing that I'm like thinking about this flood situation, uh, is the campers. That's the one I'm really following, because that, you know, that one really gets close to me, because you know I have kids, and I'm all like, I can't imagine. And I'm like trying to explain the story to my wife. Because she's like, what is, because she never reads, she never watches or reads any of the news, so I read it and watch it for her. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what is this Camp Mystic? I was like, well, it's a Christian all girls camp. And so like she's like, oh, they stay there? And I was like, yeah, they stay there for the whole summer, or whatever, parts of the summer. And I saw today, right before I came on, I believe, was it, there was 20 girls missing, and now they're down to 10 girls, one counselor. And we're, what were we at? We're like 3 days into this now, that they're still missing. So I mean, I'm hoping that the 10 or so missing girls are with that one counselor, and they are together huddle up in some, like, I'm imagining like, you know, somewhere. That's where I'm hoping where this is going. But I don't know. That's, where are we? We're 3 days in, right? And then I saw that they're flying with these like search planes, and they're doing like the heat signature readings on the whole area, right? And they're just flying back and forth with these heat signature, like, military, I believe it's military grade heat signature things, right? And they're not seeing anything out there. So I'm hoping, but maybe it's like some predator stuff where they got a bunch of mud on them, you know, and it's masking their heat signature. That's what I'm hoping what it is, because you know it's terrible. That's a terrible, terrible situation, because not because they're like 10-year-olds, and you know, at 10 to lose your kid is a crazy, crazy time, because that's when they're starting to become like humans. You know, they become like their own people. I mean, before that they're just like a blob, but and then around like around 6 or so, they develop their personality, and then at 10 that personality is cemented, you know. So it's a terrible, terrible situation. um I saw something about how they found one camper girl 6 miles, I believe, away from the actual camp itself, and she was rescued because a couple was just out by the river. This is like maybe the next day or so. They were just out by the river and they heard a help, help. They heard someone yelling, and then they went over to investigate, and then they found her, right? And they asked her like, "Where are you from?" And she said she's from Camp Mystic, right? And then they were like, and then they were telling the news reporters that's like 6 or 7 miles away. So that's how far some of these kids could be. Imagine being swept 6 miles away. And I found this interview very interesting because it's the only one that I saw that is actually an account of what happened. At least I don't know if she was part of the actual cabin, because there was that one main cabin that's on the river. That's the one where most of the girls are missing from. It's on the river, the cabin. If you, I don't know, if I was on the computer, I can show you guys a picture of the cabin, but the cabin, the one where all the girls are missing from, it's literally right next to the river. And so she was saying what happened was sh the cabin started to fill up, I guess on the outside or maybe the inside as well. She just said that the cabin was starting to fill up, and somebody opened a window, and when they opened the window, she got swept out. Um, that's how she ended up getting swept by the river. Somebody opened a window, and she just flew out the window. And keep in mind, she was found 6 miles away from Camp Mystic. 6 miles, guys. That is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. What else did I see about this Camp Mystic situation, or just the Texas flooding in general? Oh, so I thought this was an interesting thing, and we can talk about it. So apparently, this area that they're in is known for flash flooding. Like the topsoil is thin, so it doesn't like soak the water. It just runs through it. I've seen soil like that before. Usually like the dense compost soil that I get from the garden area is like that, where you put water into it and it just like slides right off. And so they're saying that, and so this area is known for getting flash floods, and and then they said that this area, and I guess in other parts of Texas, again, I'm not in Texas, so I don't know how common this feature is, but they were saying that other parts of Texas have sirens that go off, and it warns people of the flash floods, right? And I was thinking, okay, well, I don't know if Texas has that. I mean, I guess they get a lot of flash floods. Again, I'm not in Texas. Someone from Texas can tell me, or have been to Texas, or has a lot of experience in Texas, can tell me more about those sirens. But they're saying that there are parts of Texas that have sirens that go off and tell you that there's a flash flood, like this is really serious, you got to do something, right? And apparently, I guess this area does not have any of that. Did you know the video game called Call of Duty World War 3? You think so, Jay? I don't know. I always feel like everyone just real quick off topic. They said that I saw this thing about Top Gun Maverick, and then they were saying that Top Gun Maverick in a way predicted this Iranian situation, Iranian like Israeli situation. Did you guys see anything about that? I was watching this like breakdown on how if you actually pay attention to Maverick. I didn't watch Maverick, so maybe if you did, you can tell me. But they were saying that you could tell with the fighters that they fought and everything, they look Iranian. Anyways, back to what we were talking about. The sirens, right? So they're saying that this area in Texas, they depend on the text message warning system. And I mean, I'm in California, and I've gotten those before, just random flash flood text messages, and I've always ignored them. So I don't know. Like I remember I would get them sometimes. I'm like flash flood, okay, and then I'll be like okay, and then it would just click off and be on my way. So I don't know how effective that is, but they're saying that this area depends on it because they don't have the siren thing. Oh, sorry, Jay. Here, there's a site beside news because real life and the other game it looks like the same. Oh, okay, Jay, I gotta check it out. You're saying Call of Duty? Okay, okay. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out, Jay. Um, yeah, but Jay, do you have any experience in Texas at all? I've been to Texas like 1 or 2 times in my whole life, and it's not during this season, so I have no experience in this at all. But yeah, they were saying that they depend on these notification things, and it didn't go. It came out late, like at 1. But I can't imagine. Like I'm just thinking about myself. And I've seen, I've gotten those before, like, oh, flash flood coming, warning, beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, okay. And then I just like go be on my way. Okay, back to this. Working on our orders. Oh, yeah. Anyways, that's a terrible way to get your 4th of July going. That's for sure. Because this whole thing happened on 4th of July. All right, we're gonna make sure that the orders are correct. Okay, what else is going on? Okay. Before I lose my train of thought about the flood thing, I'm just gonna finish off on that real quick. They said that this community was going to invest in a siren system back in like 2017 or something like that, and they said I don't know if was Abbott still there at that time, but they said that it was too expensive, so they didn't want to do it, right? And then I just saw today that Abbott said that he's gonna look into it again, and I was like, this is typical, just typical politician bullcrap where they're just like, oh, whoopsies, and then they're like, we're gonna do it now. It's one of those like, it's too late. Too late. I don't know. We don't see. Here's the thing about all this. The blaming that's going on. I know like there's this big debate on the the NOAA weather service. They didn't send out the notifications on time. They're saying that they're short staffed. They're saying like, oh, you guys did like, because they got like 20 inches of rain, I believe, right? And then they're like, none of the forecasters said anything about 20 inches of rain. And then they're saying like, well, we're understaffed. With it, there's like a key position that's been vacant for like forever now. So who knows if that was a Doge thing. Boom. All right. Let's start with this. Get it out. Boom. And but yeah, that's typical politician bullcrap where it's not a problem until it is a problem, and then it's like we could have fixed it, but we didn't. But now we are. Now we are. We're gonna go. We're gonna fix it, guys. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just terrible situation. Ooh, sorry. Terrible. What else is going on? I'm trying to think. Oh, I was telling I was telling my kid about fire. I don't know. Sometimes the kid wants to hear stories about my life, and I was telling them about like fun things we used to do with the fireworks when I was a kid. I remember one thing we did. Have you seen? I saw clips of like the Gatling gun. I think that some people have now. Like that's crazy cool. I wish we had that when I was little. It's like a Gatling gun, right? And I guess they have rockets on there, and it's just like they shoot rockets at each other. That seems really cool. And I was telling we just had Roman candles when I was little. Okay, nothing that cool. All right, this one is done. Nothing that cool. Um, and I I think what's always fun was buying the fireworks from the stands and having the knowledge to like modify them because like I was telling this before. What we used to do was you get the piccolo peaks. The piccolo they could be called. Have you seen the movie The Dead Presidents? That one sounds so familiar. Is that the Robert Williams one? No, that's Dead Poet Society. Dead President. That one sounds so familiar. You gotta give me. I think I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I've I have this thing where it doesn't matter if a movie is bad or good. I like to just watch it just to see where they go. It's your favorite movie? Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. Because when I think, is that a drama? It sounds so familiar. I must have seen it. If it's like an old school movie, I I must have seen it. I'm trying to think. What's my favorite movie? I think my favorite movie of all time is Pulp Fiction. I don't know why. It's just to me, it's got just enough of everything. It's got some action. It's got a lot of stuff that I like. Oh, and I also like Groundhog's Day. If you're just going more lighthearted, Groundhog's Day is my favorite movie. I think I mentioned this before. I love that idea of like Jay, I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Once if I see like pictures of it, it'll jog my memory of what it is. But off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly. If I'm on the computer, I could definitely look it up. Uh, but if it's a lighthearted movie, Groundhog's Day is my favorite. If you're going a little bit more like action based or whatever, um, Pulp Fiction's my favorite. Let's see, Dead, Dead Presidents. Is it a heist movie? I'm trying to remember exactly. No, no. Now I'm thinking about I'm thinking about Point Break with the Keanu Reeves. You remember they dressed up as presidents and they would rob banks. Oh, wait, I'll look it up later. I'm pretty sure I watched it, but it's not coming to me off the top of my head. Okay. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, you know what's very interesting is that I don't know if this is a diversion like a. It feels like every week of this year has been another uh plot twist that no one ever expected to happen. What are we on now? We're on. You know what's crazy? We're only 6 months into this year, and it feels like so much happened. Don't you think so much happened in these like 6 months of this year? Black people. Okay. If it's a heist movie, I've definitely seen it, Jay. Like I said, I need some pictures, and yeah, I need some pictures. If this is a heist movie, that's the other thing. Category I really like heist. I love heist movies. Uh, just the planning part, the planning part, execution part is my favorite. I'm trying to think. What is my favorite heist movie? We can go Heat. Heat's always is a great one. But I rewatched the Heat the other day because it was on Netflix for a little bit. I'm trying to think. Did it still hold up? It's still good. It's still good. I think I'm trying to think. What is my favorite heist movie? Do I dare say the Heat? What is your favorite heist movie? I don't know. Off the top of my head, The Heat. The Rock is also really cool. It holds a special part in my heart. I don't know if that counts as a heist movie. To me, technically, it is a heist movie because they're off to do a secret mission, you know, to disarm the bombs. You gotta get them all. The Rock just has so many iconic lines, and I would love them to remake The Rock with Alligator Alcatraz. Oh, that was another fun thing. Uh, a little bit back to the flooding thing. You know, there's been this talk about how they're using FEMA is gutted, and they used a bunch of FEMA money to build Alligator Alcatraz. You know, and now FEMA is like, what the hell? We don't have enough funds to do real FEMA stuff, and I'm like thinking about that, and I was like, you know, would be actually really interesting. If they build different prisons because around the country and they just use more natural like I don't know, I was thinking about this today. So there's Alligator Alcatraz, right? But why are they stopping there? Like there's so many fun things that they could do. Because it feels like some Bond villain stuff. And so I'm thinking like as a Bond villain, what other fun prisons can you make? There's okay, and this is what I was thinking. Okay, imagine oil rig off the coast of the Pacific, right? And they an oil rig. Wait, there's already a movie that has an oil rig. But anyways, follow me here. And imagining now an oil rig off the coast of the Pacific, warm waters with a big net around it, right in the water. In the water, jellyfish. Jelly. So if anyone tries to escape, they'll jump into the water, right? And it's filled with jellyfish. Jellyfish Bay. Like what else can they call? Like there's so many fun things that they could do. If this is the path they want to go down, like some Bond villain things, like we can brainstorm a bunch of these things. Um, did I mention this? I was thinking about this last time. Okay, on top of a mountain, right? Like, where do they have those? Where it's a mountain up. Is it in Texas? I'm not sure, but they have them. It's like the mountains that go up and the top is flat, but it's really high, right? On top of that, and then so you can't go anywhere because you're on a cliff, right? You have to climb down the cliff, and then on top of that, there are lightning rods placed everywhere, and then so when you try to escape, lightning is shooting down everywhere. What are we gonna call it? The light, the light. Oh, the lighthouse. There you go. See, see, like there's so many fun things. Um, up no up north more. Bears. No. Wolf. Okay, it's an area up in the tundra north, right? They have feeding stations for wolves. when you try to escape, wolf packs will come get you. What we're gonna call it? Oh, oh, dang it. The wolf one's kind of hard. Maybe just the wolf. Everything's the wolf. I don't know. All right. We're getting off topic. We're getting off topic. What were we talking about? 4th of July. All right. 4th of July. We're talking about the flood. Ooh. All right. This one's done. Oh, there's something that's been on my mind. It's the big beautiful bill stuff, and I saw this talking point. I thought it was pretty interesting. Because I was talking to, make sure these line up. Okay, red. Oh, you guys have to walk with me. I gotta. It's in the cutting machine. Gotta go get it. Well, I think what was very interesting, because I was talking to someone about this, and then they were saying that the tax cuts and everything, and we were talking about how we found it very interesting that a lot of this stuff doesn't take effect until what was it, like 2027 or something like that, like, right? And then so it doesn't take effect until 2027, and you're not going to feel the effects of it until 2028, right? The following year. So the first year that's going to go into effect is 2027, and then once you feel the effects of it is 2028, the next election cycle. This is the part where I find so shady, a lot of times about these politicians, right? Because some people are like, oh, it's Trump's big beautiful bill. No, guys. He cannot take credit for the whole thing. There's, senators and congressmen and it's all of them together, right? This is the part I found very interesting, is that it doesn't take effect in 2027, and you're not going to feel the effects until 2028. Possible next president stuff. What are we getting those stimulus checks? Never, Jay. Never. Okay, Jay. The stimmy checks will most likely only come out if things get real crappy, and then you need a quick win. That's really what the stimmy checks are really for, where you kind of like it's like a distraction. Here, take some. Peasant, here, have some breadcrumbs. Like, do you remember when Doge was first starting to get going, right? And they were saying, like, we're all gonna get a piece of those savings, and then like that evaporated so quickly. Yeah, we're all waiting for the stimmy checks. Okay, but I thought this is very interesting, where they delayed, because they could have made this stuff take effect quickly, like the next year. They could have made it take effect 2026, but they spaced it out into 2027, and you're not feeling it into the following year. It's so when if this blows up, and I don't know, there's a good chance it could blow up, right? The big beautiful bill. Trump might not be in office to take the blame, and then in 3 or 4 years, I'm pretty sure a lot of these senators and Congress people, whoever, a lot of them possibly retire. Like they're like, some of them are retiring already. Mitch McConnell is old as hell. He's retiring. Like the 2 or 3 year gap that you're gonna from now until this stuff takes effect is important, because if it blows up, they could say people's memory are short on everything, right? If it blows up, they can say, like, look, whoever the current president or administration is, it's their fault. It's their fault things are Like because people only think about literally people only think about right now. You know, they cannot think beyond or they can't look back and then they can't look forward. It's crazy how the mass works that way, where you cannot you just cannot go backwards. You can't think backwards. I don't know because just think about what's going on right now, and this thing bugs me like crazy when they keep going. I mean, this is a every time anything goes bad. What is the main talking point? It's Biden's fault, right? And I'm like, oh, yes, I get it. Some things, yeah, but like, we're, some things are not. So it's kind of like you cannot blame Biden for everything. But you could tell. I can already tell that's what they're setting up the big beautiful bill to do. It's the reason why they're delaying it, just in case if it blows up. I mean, there's a good chance. Um, I just can't see. You know what I hate a lot too is the politicians that were like really against the bill, and then they end up falling in line anyways. That bugs me like crazy. There's so many of those clips of like senators or Congress people. They're like, "Oh, you're stealing from. I can't support this bill. You're adding to the deficit by so much. You're stealing from the future, right? For short term gains, and I cannot support the bill." And then like literally within like, make sure this is right. Literally within a phone call, right? These guys will flip and they'll fall in line, you know, and it's like, what what was the whole point of that whole speech if you're just gonna fall in line anyways? They always end up falling in line. All right. Oh. Yes. I just noticed this. All right. All right. If you guys have been here for a while, you know that one of my most popular designs is this apron, right? The head chef. It's not mirrored, so you guys can't see it, but it's head chef, sous chef. It's couples. They go together, right? And people buy them for like anniversaries, weddings, or whatever, right? And so one says head chef, the other one says sous chef, and they're the names of the couples, right? And if you guys have been watching for a while, you know my biggest complaint has always been people buy them as gifts usually. My biggest complaint. All right, 1 second. Sorry, I gotta get two white aprons. My biggest complaint has always been that when people buy these for people, they buy they go head chef guy and then a sous chef lady. This one, every like of the 2010 or like the 10 or so or whatever I make of these a day, it's 90% of the time it's the person whoever bought it buys the guy's name first. So that's how I make them. I make them if you put the guy's name first. And some people are very clear. They're like, oh, I want the sous chef to say this, and I want the head chef to say this. But most of the time, it's guy's name first, and that's the head chef. And I say that in the description, right? You put the guy's name first, or whoever's name first is who I'm putting as the head chef. 90% of the time, 90% of the time, they put the guy's name first for the head chef and the lady's name for the sous chef. And then this always makes me chuckle inside because most of the time, maybe I'm just not hip anymore. Because I do feel like ladies these days don't know how to cook anymore. But most of the time, it's the ladies that do the big cooking that you would even wear these aprons for, like for Thanksgiving and whatnot. Guys, they usually just like man the grill or do steak or something easy. But most of the time, people buy this, they buy head chef guy, sous chef lady. And I always thought that that was such an insult to, let's say you're slaving away at Thanksgiving or whatever holiday dinner that you're having or get together, and you wear these aprons, and it says sous chef. Well, the head chef apron is just like sitting in some cabinet somewhere that's never even been worn. It's pristine. Like for example, you see this one, okay? This one's white and it's Troy, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Sous chef is Jess, okay? This is exactly the situation I'm talking about. Not only did these people order white, which I don't recommend, because if you're a real cook, white will get dirty as like crazy, right? So I don't recommend you to buy white. But I'm just saying. I'm gonna leave on this note. Most likely, what's gonna happen is that Jess does all the cooking, and then her apron says sous chef, and then it's gonna be all dirty, right? By the end of whatever cooking session, and then Troy's apron is gonna get tucked in some drawer somewhere, pristine white as the day that I made it, right? And it's gonna breed. This is an argument waiting to happen one day. One day, I'm just gonna paint the scenario. One day, Jess is gonna be slaving away 6 hours into Thanksgiving, right? Sous chef. And Troy, I don't know these people. I'm just making an assumption. Troy is outside with his buddies, beer in hand, just laughing and chatting, whatever, and not helping, right? And Jess is gonna walk. Maybe she needs to go to the bathroom real quick, wash her hands, right? And she looks into the mirror, and it says sous chef Jess, and it's all dirty, and she's been cooking for 20 hours now, eyes bags, and she just has a breakdown, and then they get a divorce. Just throwing it out there. If you're gonna buy this design, please, ladies first, then guy. Lady head chef, guy sous chef, and it's better that way. It's just better. Even if the guy does all the cooking, it's still funnier to have him be the sous chef. You know, just throwing it out there. All right, time to take a break. See you guys later.